is Clark. Clark separating, taking, and dumps it down. Reese bangs inside and puts it in. The jumper off the board. Chicago wins.
I'm a dog.
Clark trying to shake free Mabry all over. Separating, taking, and has really found her footing over the last 4 or 5 games. Is the detention, the finish on Smith. Dumps it down, Reese bangs inside.
So what's up, guys? It's your girl Rivah. I'm back again with another video. There was absolutely no way that this game was going to happen, and I was not going to come on here and give you guys my opinions, my thoughts of the entire situation. This was the most recent game that happened between the Indiana Fever and the Chicago Sky, aka Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese, and this was absolutely an edge of your seat type of game. Like, you know, anybody who was watching, you're glued to the screen the entire time because it was that close of a game the entire time. As we can see so far, the first points scored in the game were from Indiana Fever by way of Caitlin Clark, and soon after that we've seen 2 highlights of Angel Reese scoring points directly after that. So I'm going to continue to show you guys the highlights, and we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of the game and the stats and all of that as we continue watching.
Angel Reese attacking Melissa Smith again. A locked in face.
Locked in face.
Clark a deep 3. You bet. Mabry. Cardoso off to a good start here in the third.
So as we can see, this is already down to the third quarter. And I have to say, these girls came to ball, okay? They came to ball. Whether Indiana Fever or Chicago Sky, everybody came with their A game. Everybody came with that fire inside of wanting to win. One thing that I noticed that really stuck out to me while watching this game was that when it comes to the team effort from the Chicago Sky, they had it locked in, okay? From Kennedy Carter, Cardoso, Angel Reese, like they were completely locked in and were playing in unison with one another. I would have wished to see that same kind of camaraderie or energy coming from the Indiana Fever. Not that they weren't all playing good together, but you could see the cohesiveness between the Chicago Sky and that hunger within them of working together, focusing on the game, trying to make sure that they were playing to the best of their ability without going too far with, you know, the fouls or anything like that, just playing the actual game. And I think that this is why so many people enjoyed watching the game and loved watching the game, because all the focus wasn't on any of the drama or the semantics. It was actually just, you know, the love of the game, people wanting to win and people wanting to ball. And a lot of people enjoyed this game, as did I.
Vegas team all-stars, Clark. Clark draws 2. Right back to Clark. Oh, good 2-player action. He brings it down the floor. Reese, what a catch and finish. Angel Reese.
Angel Reese caught that ball so hard. She was all in the laps of the videographers, the reporters. Like, she was rolling on top of everybody just to make sure that she got it in. And this particular play in the game, the reason why I included these certain highlights is because when I watched this play, I watched the fact that Angel Reese's eyes never, you know, looked down to where she was going. It never looked in front of her. Her eyes were on getting that ball in the basket. And it reminded me of that recent foul that happened with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, where there was so much speculation on, you know, was that intentional? Was it unintentional? And she had the same exact look in her eyes during that play with Caitlin Clark as she did here when trying to get the ball into the basket. So it just shows that she is very focused on trying to, you know, that saying, keep your eye on the prize. We definitely could see it here. And again, throughout the entire game, it showed, okay? It showed. As you can see, we're in the third, and the Chicago Sky has 61 points. Indiana Fever at the time had 72 points. So there was a little bit of leeway. But when they came back, they were coming for the jugular, okay? They were like, we're not trying to play any games. We really, really want this win. And again, anybody who watched this game knows that they really fought for that win to the end.
13 assists for Clark. Boston has 15 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists herself. He's good! go 3.
Listen, when it comes to them deep 3-pointers, Caitlin Clark was made for it. Okay, she was made for it. It's like she just automatically knows what's gonna happen. And what I noticed also in the game is that a lot of people were leaning on her, which she's a really strong player, of course, but I feel like a lot of times when a lot of the other players, when she would pass the ball to them because maybe they were more open than she was, a lot of the players were kind of fumbling a little bit. It was kind of like if they weren't passing the ball to her and she wasn't leading in the direction of, she's going to shoot and she's got it, a lot of people seemed a little bit confused at what to do, or I don't know if it was nerves, if they were anxious, but they weren't really pulling the same weight as a team, as a whole, as a unit, to assist Caitlin in the way that which she was playing, right? Because we know that Caitlin Clark is going to play hard. She was really, doing her best to carry the game as to the best of her ability. But again, the camaraderie and the unison that Chicago Sky played with, there was really a strong difference, because there's no way if they were playing as cohesively, for Indiana Fever, if they were playing as strong, there's no way that Chicago Sky would have won this game. It just would not have happened. It could not have happened. But for there to be such a gap in the game, and Chicago Sky not only come and match the same points that Indiana Fever has, but actually for them to win the game, it shows, right? It shows the lack of unison. It shows them not really knowing where to move. If they're not passing the ball to Caitlin, them not really knowing where to go. And I think that was very apparent when we watched this game.
And then a shrug and a stare from Caitlin Clark. Deep 3.
I'm so happy that after this whole situation happened with, Kennedy Carter, and when she pushed down Caitlin Clark, which is very tacky, distasteful, and all that, I was just so happy to see, again, that the focus was on the game. That everybody has moved past that. They're all trying to abide by the rules. Nobody was taking any cheap shots or anything like that. Like, again, the focal point was on winning the game. They knew they had a lot of eyes on them. They wanted to perform to their best ability. And I have to give it to her. Kennedy Carter, Angel Reese, and again, Cardosa, they were playing to win. They were playing for keeps, and I love that. And again, I love the fact that the focus was on the game. That's what we all wanted from the beginning. They have the eyes. Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark have brought the eyes to the WNBA, and this was a game that made, highlighted the goodness in the sport, and again, they made, everybody proud, for sure. Whether you're an Angel Reese fan or a Caitlin Clark fan, they definitely made you guys proud.
Squeeze it out to Allen. Allen's mid-range short. Reese on the rebound. Reese flips it in.
Now, I don't know if this is because it was a home game and the whole Chicago was there and they felt like they had to win this game. I'm not really sure what the energy was or what was the momentum that kept them going. But they, again, we're seeing it. We're seeing it in real time. They were playing. And to be honest, these highlights don't even give the true, it doesn't give the justice of what actually took place in this game. It was incredible.
Reese back to work on Smith. Reese pops it in. Larissa Smith has had no answer for Angel Reese.
You can see here, okay, so we know that they were tied right here at the game. It was, the fourth quarter. They were literally tied before Angel Reese made that shot. You can see it was 84-84. Again, 54 seconds. This was a neck and neck game. It was an awesome game. Okay. It was a really amazing game. But you can see here after Angel Reese makes that shot, you can kind of see the look of defeat in Caitlin Clark. It's a little blurry here, but I'm going to press play so you guys can see it again. But you can see that she was kind of like, she knew, right? Like at this point, she was like, yeah, I see what's happening.
Shoulder and able to finish inside has been spectacular. Oh, looked like we were going to have a jump in. Transition opportunity with Wallace unable to lay it in. Indiana ball down, 7 seconds to go.
Caitlin gave it to her, okay? Everybody was fighting for the ball. I don't know what was happening. Everybody on the ground. But Caitlyn, when she was dribbling that ball and coming all the way across the court, her eye was on, we're not going to let this happen. I don't care if there's 7 seconds. I don't care if there's 2 seconds. We are going to give it our best shot and win the game. And when she passed the ball and then she went and, her teammate went to go make that layup and missed, I know she was upset. I know she was furious. I know that they was rolling eyes in the locker room after this. They didn't want to talk to each other because, it's hard when you're playing so hard and you want it so bad. And even I'm sure that the girl, who was playing, her teammate, was very disappointed in herself. But that's how close this game was. That 7 seconds, they're still trying to conquer the other team. They're still trying to win. And it was almost possible. It could have been. But it wasn't.
Round 1, out of timeouts. Here's Clark on the catch. Off to Boston, back to Clark. Boston, the jumper, off the mark, loose ball, Chicago wins.
Again, this is my point that I was trying to make. Once Caitlyn gets the ball in her hand, it's almost like people they're only passing it to her. So we see that Caitlyn gets past the ball. She's surrounded, right? She's surrounded. She was completely surrounded at this time. This person is open. This person's open over here. She passes the ball back, and it's like, there was some kind of like a glitch. Like they kept passing it back to her and taking it back and passing it. And she's like, you guys are open. You guys have to, we're running down the seconds. There's 3 seconds left in the game. This is going to count. And I think that a lot of the time passing it back and forth is what wasted the time and what ultimately caused them to lose the game. And again, look how close this score is. Okay? Please look at how close this score is. 87-88. It was by a hair, an inch. If they would have made this shot, it would have been over. They would have won the game, but it was so close. So close. And again, I have to give it up for this, I don't know if we want to call it rivalry or whatever, between the whole Angel Reese fans and Caitlin Clark fans, because they have definitely drawn a lot of attention, a lot of eyes to the whole entire sport of the WNBA. I feel like this was maybe a good thing. Okay, maybe all the drama, the foolishness has been a good thing, because it's for sure, without a doubt, that Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese are what the WNBA needed to thrive. That's not even a question I'm asking. That is an absolute fact. Everybody rallied in to watch this game. When they looked at the stats or the viewers of this entire game, they said that it was a constant viewership. The numbers did not dip. Everybody was on the edge of their seats watching this game the entire time. And that is what they were all wanting, right? That's what they were calling for. The attention, the eyes on the sport. And it was an amazing game. I had a lot of love for it. Okay, I gotta be real. I really loved it. I enjoyed watching it, and I enjoyed watching, both teams really give it their all. I did.
Jumper off the mark, loose ball, Chicago wins. 88-87 the final.
You personally started the run that won this game. How do you find this in you each and every time to be such a winner?
I'm a dog. You can't teach that.
So y'all know I'm going to be myself, right? I'm going to keep it really honest with you guys. I'm going to tell you guys exactly how I feel about this. We're going to get into it even more later, but Angel Reese has gone for 8 straight double-doubles. She's the first rookie since 2018 to score 25 plus points, plus 15 rebounds in a game. She really wanted this really bad. She came to play. She came with her A game. She really did the team justice. She was carrying the team for a very, large portion of the game. Absolutely amazing, incredible. This is where I think there's a little bit of the disconnect. Not to say that everybody has to completely understand the vernacular in which you speak. Maybe not everybody has to understand your tone or, where you come from and your, the energy that you bring and the way that you portray yourself or communicate. Of course, everybody is different. Everybody comes from different walks of life. But I personally just did not I was like, man, she played so amazing. This was so incredible, but when she referred to herself as a dog, I was like, I know there's going to be a large portion of people who do understand and who do get it, but I just don't like that. As as much as I talk about our representation and how we communicate and how we handle ourselves and how we speak and representing your community when you're out there, I did not love that. Okay, I'm gonna keep it really real with you guys. Maybe some of you guys will agree, maybe some of you guys won't agree, but as a woman, as a lady, I did not love the terminology of I'm a dog. That's extremely masculine. If a man said it in the NBA, cool, whatever, whatever it is. But as a lady, again, representing women and being on the forefront for so many young girls to look up to, I hated that. I really did. I'm going to keep it really honest with you guys. Again, maybe you guys will say, oh, that's foolishness, that's nuance, whatever. I didn't like that. I would love the representation to be as good as it was when she was speaking at her press conference, right? The way in which she articulated herself in the press conference after the game, applaud. It looks like maybe she's had some media training. I'm not 100% sure. It was incredible. But the I'm a dog, I couldn't get into it. Okay, I could not get into it.
Angel, just a ton of fans out today. We had Cheryl Swoops on one end of the court, Margaret Stender, the former, or this guy's first, CEO, president, Lil Durk, Jason Sudeikis. It was really a mixture of kind of the old and new.
Yeah.
And I'm curious what your thoughts are about today's crowd really exemplifying the fever in the sky, being at the center of kind of the future of the WNBA, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's good for the game, good for women's basketball, but also good for women's sports. You see NBA players, rappers, legends that have played in the league for a long time come out and show support. So everybody's watching right now. I think this is one of the most important times right now, and just continue to keep putting on. I think both teams tonight did an amazing job putting on the show, and it was fun. I had a great time. I'm sure the other team had a great time. So I'm just happy we won tonight.
I agree with her, right? I agree that both teams put on a great show. I believe that both teams came with their A game. I believe that everybody was fighting to win. They all felt the pressure to win. They wanted to win so bad. I loved it, okay? It looks like I said before, the animosity between Indiana Fever and Chicago Sky, the Caitlin Clark fans versus the Angel Reese fans, it brought all of the attention that was needed and the energy needed to fuel these people to try to fight for the win. And again, that's what it's all about. And it was incredible. Again, I have to say that when she was talking here, I thought that she was very well spoken. She represented her team well while she was in this, press conference and all of that. Again, I don't know if it's media training or what the case is. I would just hope that whenever there is a loss, that she keeps this same energy. Because it suits her very well, right? The way in which she's speaking, her calm attitude, her calm tone. Because, recently with the last press conference that I did the reaction to, when she lost the game, it was very much like, oh, the refs was making bad calls all night and this and that, just because they kind of had the loss. But now that they've had the win, there's no talk about, the refs and how bad they were and how they were detrimental to the game. There was none of that. There was no talks about that. So, not just when you're winning do you want to represent your team well, you also want to have the same type of demeanor when you're losing. And that's what creates people, that's what makes you more relatable to people. That's what makes people hone in on loving you and supporting you. She already has a huge fan base, but, stepping over that mark and maybe some of the people who are detractors then look at you and say, you know what, yeah, I understand her, she's a great player, and I want to also say this. I think that a lot of people think because I talked about or I covered the whole situation with Caitlin Clark with her her WNBA endorsement deal and talking about when a lot of the women were talking against her and supporting her. My whole MO with those conversations is that it's so interesting how a lot of women, especially in the feminist movement, they all stand behind, oh, it's women supporting women. We care about women. We want all women to win. But then when they're, when it's exemplified, when they're in the space where they can support other women and it's something that's benefiting their sport, how quick they were to drop the ball when you don't fit a certain narrative. That was always and has always been my MO. I've always talked about how great of a player Angel Reese is. I've always talked about certain things, but I think that there was a lot of demographics where people were purposely trying to Caitlin Clark out or speak negatively about Caitlin Clark because there was a little bit of animosity and jealousy. That's just calling it what it is and being honest about the opinion of my opinions. But I think there is space that people can be fans of both. You know, I definitely think that there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being a Caitlin Clark fan and being an Angel Reese fan and just supporting the sport in totality with, standing behind the best players in the game. Again, for rookies, I think that, again, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark are both stepping up to the plate. They're showing why they are, the head runners of this sport, of the WNBA. Again, as rookies coming in, bringing all eyes and attention. I love what they're doing. I loved this game. I thought it was incredible. I thought it was amazing. They're breaking records left and right, whether it's Angel Reese or Caitlin Clark. They're neck and neck, and they're trying to show who's the best rookie. And that is great for the sport. Again, that's great for the attention. That's great for the eyes on the game. And I absolutely loved it. I'd like to know you guys' feedback, your thoughts, your opinions on the entire situation, the entire game, your thoughts on Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark. Do you think that all the rivalry and the drama was good for the sport? Do you think it brought more eyes to the game? Let me know all of your thoughts down below. I'll see you guys in the next video. Love you.